Every modern survival guide agrees on one thing. If you want clean water, you use a filter. Carbon, ceramic, membranes so fine they promise purity itself. But during World War II, filters weren't the first choice. In fact, some of the cleanest, safest drinking water ever produced in combat zones came from a method so effective it was later restricted, discouraged and quietly erased from public survival manuals. Not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well. The water method modern filters can't beat. World War II wasn't just a battle of weapons, it was a battle of logistics. Armies didn't fail because they ran out of bullets. They failed because soldiers got sick. Dysentery, cholera, typhoid. Waterborne illness killed more troops historically than enemy fire. So militaries needed water purification that was fast, scalable, reliable and lethal to pathogens. Filters alone couldn't do that, because filters only trap, they don't kill. Instead, World War II forces relied on a chemical sterilization method. Not boiling, not filtering, but active microbial annihilation. This method didn't just remove bacteria, it destroyed them at the cellular level. Viruses, protozoa, parasites, even organisms small enough to pass through many modern filters. And here's the part most people don't know. This technique is still used today, just not for civilians. Modern filters are impressive, but they share three critical weaknesses. First, they rely on physical barriers. Anything smaller than the pore size gets through. Viruses, often too small. Second, filters clog. Once compromised, they fail quietly. No alarm, no warning. Third, filters don't neutralize toxins. Dead pathogens can still cause problems. Live ones, even worse. The World War II method bypassed all of that. It didn't strain water, it reset it. So why was it restricted? Why don't survival channels talk about it? Why isn't it the default option? Because the same property that made it effective made it dangerous without training. This method operates on precise chemical thresholds. Too little, and it fails. Too much, and it becomes harmful to humans. During the war, this wasn't a problem. Soldiers were trained, dosage was controlled, oversight was constant. Civilians? Not so much. After the war, governments faced a choice. Teach civilians a method that required chemical literacy, or promote safer, simpler tools. So they chose filters. Slower, less complete, but harder to misuse. And quietly, the old method was labelled outdated, too risky, not recommended, not banned with headlines, just removed. Here's what makes this fascinating. Filters rely on probability. Chemical sterilization relies on certainty. When done correctly, the WWII method achieves something filters cannot: a complete microbial kill rate. Not reduction, not suppression, elimination. That's why hospitals, laboratories and disaster response teams still rely on chemical sterilization today, just under different names, in controlled environments. Look closely and you'll see it. Emergency response kits, military field manuals, large-scale water treatment plants. The method never disappeared, it was just professionalized. Civilian filters became the consumer version, safer, marketable, incomplete. There's another reason filters won, you know. They're visible. You can see them working, you can hold them, you can trust them. Chemical sterilization? Well, it's invisible. You have to trust the science. And honestly, humans are notoriously bad at trusting what they can't see. Here's the irony. In a true survival situation, where viruses are present, filters are damaged, and water sources are compromised, the World War II method would still outperform most consumer gear. Yet most people don't even know it exists. And those who do, well, they aren't exactly encouraged to talk about it. To be clear, this isn't a recommendation. This isn't a how-to. Because, you know, knowledge without context can be dangerous. But understanding why something was hidden is different from blindly accepting that it should stay that way. This wasn't the only wartime technology quietly sidelined. Nutrition, medicine, materials, methods that worked too well, required too much responsibility, or removed dependency on mass production. Filters need replacement. Cartridges expire. Supply chains matter. The World War II method? It didn't care. So, the next time someone says, "Filters are the best we've got," remember, they're the best we're allowed to have, not necessarily the best that exists. History doesn't just forget things. Sometimes it locks them away, not because they failed, but because they worked too well.